Hey guys, Katsuma Gaming here, and welcome to the newest banner guide, Zesta Joins the Battle, Glowing Knights Who Sought Pool Recruit Part 2. That's right, the second pool party banner is coming, and of course, with that, the new playable unit, Zesta. Before we actually start into the banner guide, just a few quick information that I want to say here before we start. First up, of course, if you like this type of content, make sure to like, subscribe, so you're always up to date regarding konosuba for 30 days, and please write down in the comment section what type of stuff you want to see, because I have vacations next week, so I will try to finally upload all the 7 videos that I missed, that you have them, but also try to maybe see if I can start recording some other guides and stuff like that. Of course, also work on an Encyclopedia, so the version 1.6 is finally coming out, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, if you have anything you want to see on this channel, it could also be non-konosuba Fantastic Days related. I try to make some Sailors on Zero stuff, for example. Not sure how many people actually watch the video, so you know, if you want that type of content, let me know, or if there are any other games you think would be cool for me to cover, let me also know, and I see what I can do. Regarding the banners, I will quickly remind people here, the Chris banner is not ending, it's still going on for a while, so if you are like one of the people who waited for the second part, like I did with Zesta, you can pull on the Zesta Lia banner as much as you want, and the remaining quarters you can then either spend on the Forbidden Chris Darkness banner, or just save them for the upcoming banners. I'm going to talk about them at the end of the video, so make sure you don't leave the video and actually watch it till the end. With that, let's finally jump right into the banner guide, and for that I'm, of course, as usual, open my beautiful Encyclopedia, and we are starting off with Lia. Before we go to the kit, a quick information and recap here. The ranking you see below here in the character, the S+ for this Lia, for example, is not the global ranking, okay? This is the ranking for the GP version. So if the ranking here is inaccurate, especially for all units, that's the case, pretty much just ignore it. I made them when the unit freshly dropped, and maybe even then it could have been potentially wrong, right? They will change the moment the version 1.6 drops, and they should have updated GP rankings, but for the global rankings, always refer to the global tier list, and we're taking a look at that at the end when we talked about these 2 units. Okay, so why is this Lia so good, or why do I think this Lia will be great for the global version? And pretty much her kit is all you kind of want from a Lia. First up, you have an AoE Reshred skill, which is great. It has an 8 seconds downtime, which is doable. You kind of play around that. I think actually, let me just quickly check and compare that to Elisa, Christmas Elisa, which is like another AoE Reshred unit. You see we have a 6-second downtime, and you can play around that. Lia is a little bit longer, so even more easy, but also keep in mind, and some people might forget that, but Lia has an ulti 1, ulti 2 that provides CDR for your team, which should help make the off time here pretty low or non-existent the moment you have some auto CDR in your team. So really doesn't matter. And a second skill, which seems weird at first, is a triple random hit, deals 141 damage 3 times, and provides a debuff block for your team. This skill is good for 2 specific reasons. First up, of course, in a light arena, it's 3 hits, 3 times the damage, pretty decent. That debuff block is also nothing bad to have, right? If the enemy doesn't have a debuff, it doesn't matter, but the moment they have one, it's good to have. And the really important thing here is the triple hit. What that means is, the moment you have any fixed additional damage in your team, like for example, you know, Forbidden Whizzes, you will trigger the bonus damage 3 times, even off element. That is what makes this Lia great. You not only have the AoE Reshred, you not only have bonus damage that you can hit trigger 3 times with the single target skill, you also have her ulti 2 to provide CDR for the team, or even if that's the more like a more needed thing in your team, you can also use the ulti 1 version 2 to provide the speed boost and the resistance. Both of them can work, but normally you just want to go with ulti 2 version 1 for the CDR, and allow your team to have easier time with their skills, proc the bonus damage on hit, stuff like that. And she also works great as a slot 4 unit to come in after your main unit dies, with like a few seconds remaining in the run. Just get the triple hit in, proc the bonus damage from the ulti, and that's all you need, right? So she's great on element, but I also can see her being successfully used a lot off element, similar to Christmas Elisa, but well, Lisa has a buffing ulti and gauge up. She has the triple hit for bonus damage and the CDR ulti. So really comes down to what your team needs more, but especially if you don't have Xbox Lisa, having this Lia is a great option to, you know, be your AoE Rashford arena for future arenas. With that, I think she's a really, really solid unit. The second unit I want to talk about is, of course, Zesta. And I want to mention a few infos here for all the people who aren't familiar with these additional units, because Zesta works like Funidodo. So he will, of course, have his own character trial thingy. He has his own personal weapon. He has his ulti 1 version 1, no ulti 1 version 2, no ulti 2s whatsoever. And he has the hybrid shards. And for that, let me just switch back to the game real quick so I can actually show it off for people to understand it more likely. We go here and all the way over there to Funidodo. You can see they have a specific bond food, they have their specific character shots, and yes, I think you will able to grind Zesta shots in the future. There should be one stage similar to Funidodo that you can grind, where you, like Expert Quest, where you can get the shards if you get lucky. But all in all, they only have like these 8 out of 8 general character potential thingy, so not like different elements like the other units, just a general thing here, which means you need less resources, but that is all for a cost that there will not be any future Zesta units whatsoever. There's no 1-star, no 2-star, no 3-star, just at 1 for Zesta, and probably no alts in the future whatsoever, similar to Funidodo. So they will rerun, Zesta will come back, unlike collab units. These additional characters come back. They will normally rerun every fast spawner, I think. So, you know, if you get lucky, you can grab them there. They also come back on their birthday, where you can also get them. Also, quick information here for a lot of people who are confused. Normally, on the first birthday of a freshly released unit, it will be a mixed banner where you can get other 4-stars. The second year though, it should be, if it's a 4-star, it should be the birthday unit, right? So for Zesta's first birthday, it might just be the case, depending on when it is and how it was in the JP version, that it will have other units in there, and a 4-star there doesn't mean it is Zesta, but I think he has like 1% chance or something like that. And in the future, future Zesta banner, birthday banners, it should just be, you know, if it's a 4-star, it's him. So really, really cool. Okay, with that, let's get back to the page here. Luna, can you please be quiet? Thank you. Let's talk about his kit and what he can do. First up, passive trait, 6% magical attack, up to 11% if the enemy has a debuff. Again, debuff, aka Rashford, defense down, whatever, all of that works. So normally should be just 100% uptime with that 11% magical attack bonus, great to have. His basic is a self minor heal, not a team heal, it's a self minor heal. It deals 105 light magical attack. His first skill is an AoE magic attack skill that deals up to 175% damage if you have 70% HP or more, and provides a tier 1 EX rush rate again. Really, really solid. Can work with Fast Union together in that regard. And the second skill is a 2x random magic attack that deals 120 damage 2 times and provides a tier 2 agility buff for 10 seconds on an 18-second cooldown. Last but not least is his ulti. It's an AoE magic attack, deals 282 light magic damage to all enemies, provides a tier 1 lightning elemental damage buff for your whole team, and a self tier 1 light elemental damage buff EX to himself. So he can be the speed boost unit, he can provide EX fresh rate, and he can buff your team with a light elemental damage buff for 14 seconds, which is all in all really, really great. He works in that regard perfectly with Fast Union. They have like no overlap. Union can buff, he can provide speed boost, he can provide light damage buff. Union has normal rash rate, he has EX rash rate. These two units just fit together absolutely perfectly. And having a speed boost unit that can also do all these kind of buffs is just great. With that, we have a third slot open for pretty much just any light damage unit that we can fit in here. Which also means this core is future-proof. In the future, we are getting Forbidden Cecily, which will be a light unit, which slots perfectly in a team and works great with them. So that is like the future light magic team, right? Works really, really great. But of course, until then, there are some other light magic units that we can just run with this team. And you should just see absurd damage numbers. This team is really, really strong. And it's highly recommended to pick him up. At least if you want to compete in light arena. With that, let's check out the rankings that I did. And to no one's surprise, Zesta is in the meta units on element tier and Lia is in the meta units with off element used tier. Zesta, I said it before, I said it again, great team core with Union. He also has a really cool gimmick. He uses AQUA and Cecily as the subs. That means he can use Forbidden AQUA as a sub, who boosts, you know, light damage by I think 11% or something like that. So you sadly would need to regrind Forbidden AQUA into pure magical attack for him to have a really good sub, but it is possible and works great and makes him really, really strong. But of course also he can use Cecily subs, which means all of them are magical attack boosting things. So you can also just go that route and ignore the little bit bonus damage you get from Forbidden AQUA. And yeah, I cannot emphasize how strong I think he is. He's still used in JP, especially in like Mage AoE arenas or single target arenas even, I think. He just works great. I mean, it's a speed boost unit with buffing abilities. EX fresh rate is always like great to have. He just really, really works great, and I explained the skill as well. So would I recommend summoning on his banner? Yes, I do. I think these are like two really, really great units. Again, especially if you don't have Xmas Melissa, getting the Lia is really valuable as your AoE restaurant unit, and Zesta for light is just not replaceable right now and for the near future not. So both of them really, really good pickups. Speaking of the future, what other banners are exactly coming in the future? And for that, of course, linked in the Encyclopedia as well is the Ultimate Guide, and down here we have the global NJP timeline, and for that, just scrolling down here the JP timeline to current banner and just talk about what is coming up and what future stuff might come that is worth saving. So first up, of course, we know the next banner will be Swimsuit Claire. No one's surprised. She actually has a little bit of a resurgence recently in the JP version. At least some top teams in the current Dark Arena and JP uses this Claire, which is kind of funny because the highest team is not using Claire again, but thanks to her ulti 2 in the future, she got better, but until that point, I don't think she's great, so that's a pretty easy skip. After that, in the JP version, we had the next collaboration, and I spoke about it before, and the last collab was right after Detective Elisa. We got our collab before Detective Elisa, so in theory, the next collab could come after Claire. But so far, I don't have any information if a collab is coming or not, so it's really hard to say, yeah, safe for collab or not, because we just don't know it. After that, another pretty easy skip, pure AoE, Fire Aura, OG2, not that good. But then, something big is coming, and that is the 3.5 anniversary, aka the Fantasy Festival banner with Fantasy, AQUA, and Darkness. And I'm still not 100% sure how I should rank them, to be honest. We have the big problem of they didn't get used much in JP, like Darkness was instantly replaced by Accelerator, AQUA was used for the one arena, and after that point we didn't have a lot of AoE water arenas, Mage AoE water arenas, maybe even like none, at least we never used her, until the point where we could use her, but then we got Fantasy, Wiz, and AQUA was donezo. But that is the JP timeline, and if we just quickly think about how global looks, this is a completely different beast. First up, we don't have Accelerator in place of Darkness, so Darkness could be a great selfish DPS unit. Still not sure how future-proof she will be, but together with the upcoming Lisa, should be really, really strong. AQUA, on the other hand, we don't have any good AoE mage water unit. And yes, this is a pure magic damage AQUA, so she counts as a magical unit, a mage unit. And that just could mean that either AoE water arena will be so weird that it doesn't matter if you have the AQUA or not, or that AQUA is the only good AoE water unit that we have, and if you don't have her, you will have a pretty hard time to rank high in future AoE water arenas. Like, the core team together with this AQUA was Sumsu Emilia, which we are not having, Yuki Nagato, which we are not having, like, pretty much just collab units, even like the Yuki Nagato Megumin or just the Roxy Megumin or Roxy in general. All of these units are not existing in a global timeline right now, so I'm not even sure how many AoE water arenas we are getting and how good she will then be or not, but like a core of this AQUA plus, let's say, the Lia, the Sumsu Lia, because this AQUA's ulti also procs on hit damage, could work great, could be a solid core, but could also just be fine enough, but like nothing crazy. That's my big problem. The only semi AoE unit that we have is Fast Cecily, but she also has only one AoE skill, so you understand, right? So I will think of that until the banner comes, and then of course hopefully can give you a more clear answer on if I think you should summon them or not. For now I think they're nice to have, but not a must have, so I think going for Zesta over them is more recommended. But of course, if you want that animated particle effects, and yes, their Life 2D models have particles in there, which looks cool, don't get me wrong, and they all have a special background and even swappable faces like the 3rd anniversary units. If you like that kind of stuff and you're just a big AQUA and or Darkness simp, of course feel free to go on the banner, but I think meta-wise, for now, pulling for the Zesta and Lia banner is better. And if you have some leftover cards, just choose between Forbidden Chris, which will of course rerun in 3 months again, with next Forbidden banner, aka Forbidden Union, or save for the Fantasy Fest banner and, you know, or skip the Fantasy Fest banner and wait for that rerun, which would also just be in 3 months later at the 3.75 banner. Then we should get Fantasy Fest Iris, I think. And at that point, you also have a great chance to just get the older fantasy units. I mean, you haven't seen it yet, but when I upload my summons this week, you will see some Fantasy Fest summons, and you will see that with my typical luck and fashion, I have a great odds of just pulling dupes of older fantasy units. So you can probably just do the same, at least I think so, but yeah. Anyway, of course, I hope you don't have to go through the same suffering as I do. But yeah, that should be everything. Already a long enough video. Sorry for a little bit hiccups and stuff like that. I don't have today time to really edit the video, so I hope it's still fine enough. Of course, future videos, especially the summon videos, should be a little bit more edited with like all the pauses removed. So stay tuned for them. Again, if you like this video, remember to like, subscribe, follow for more content. Let me know what banner you want to summon on as well, because I'm curious what your current plan is with the future ahead. Do you plan to save for Fantasy Fest AQUA? Are you planning to pull on Zesta? Did you just pull on Chris and you're out of parts now because you got screwed as I am and you don't have anything to pull anyway, so you just see whatever comes? Let me know. Also, do you think we are getting a collab next month? If yes, what collab do you expect? Do we just go with both three? Do we finally get the ray gun collab that we're missing? Something completely different? Or do you just think no collab whatsoever next month? Let me know. I really want to discuss this kind of topic. I want to know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next one. Bye.